Welcome to the lair of the Batty Boffin.
Hi there Batty fans, a little bit more equations with the Batty Boffin. In earlier videos I introduced you to this method of solving equations like this. This is a two-stage equation by using these machines. We start off with x and we develop the algebra along the top so that you end up with something looking like that, and then we turn it into numbers and work it back, and the answer just pops out the end. So earlier ones we've been doing things like multiplying, adding, subtracting. Here I've got a divide. We're also going to be using squares in this one here, so some slightly more complex bits and bobs. If you are not sure how to use these machines, then check out some of the earlier Batty Boffin videos where I tell you, because I'm just going to launch you straight in with this one here. If you want some pre-printed machines, then pop along to www.battyboffin.co.uk, and there you look on downloads, you'll find some of these sheets ready printed out if you can't be bothered to draw your own boxes. Okay, so for the first one here, I'm going to let you go into this one here. We're starting with the x and we're going to do something to it. Is it the add 3 or the divide by 5? Remember that fraction is a divide there. You could easily have written that as x divided by 5 plus 3 equals 6. Could have written it like that, but I've written it as a fraction, which is a divide. So is it the add 3 or the divide by 5 that we do to the x first? Whichever one you do first goes in there. Whichever one you do second goes in there. And you should end up here with that bit of maths. Equal to 6, and then you put the 6 back, running the machine backwards. Have a go with that. Right, from your BODMAS or BIDMAS or PEMDAS, whatever you call it, you should know that divides come before adds. So it's brackets, then other stuff or indices or whatever you call them on their exponents. Multiplies and divides come next. Adds and subtracts come after that. Okay, so we're going to do a divided by 5, which gives us x over 5, or x divided by 5. You can write it either way round. Then after that we're going to do the add 3, and we get from that x divided by 5 add 3. Please note how you write that. You can't write that like that. That's something different. Okay, please make sure you have that written correctly. Anyway, x over 5 add 3, and that is equal to 6. So there, the equation is the same as that. Now we're going to feed the 6 back into it. We're going to take away 3 because we're running the machine backwards. 6 take away 3 gives us a 3 there. And instead of a divided by 5, we're going to do times by 5, giving us an answer of 15. We can check that that's right by putting 15 into here. 15 divided by 5, that's 3. Add 3, yep, that's 6. Okay, good. I'm going to wipe this bit down here, and I'm going to give you one that's got a squared in it. Right, x squared. Squared, I hope you're happy with that. If not, check out some of the ones on simplifying algebra, which tell you all about squares and cubes and things like that. We've also got a playlist on powers and roots, though some of that goes a little more advanced, so don't worry about the harder ones in there. Okay, x squared plus 7 equals 43. So we need to wipe these down, start off, put some different things in the brackets. Have a go at that, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes with the answer. Right, as ever, the first thing we need to do is identify the order in which we do them. We have our x, and we've got two things we're doing to it because it's a two-stage operation, hence two boxes. We have a squared and we have an add 7. Hopefully you're okay with the fact that the squared is the first thing you do. That's what comes under the O in BODMAS for order of operations, the E in PEMDAS for exponent, which is a posh word for that little number, or the I in BIDMAS for indices, which is again another one from the word for that little tiny number up there, whatever it is. After brackets we do things like squares and square roots first. So first thing we're going to do is square it. I'm just going to write a little 2 up there. X, when you square it, gives you x squared. And then we're going to add the 7, which gives us an x squared plus 7. And that, we're told, is equal to 43. So we need to put that through the machine running backwards. Opposite of an add 7 is a take 7. 43 take 7 is 36. At which point I hope you wipe the sweat from your brow and recognise that as a square number. Question is, what do we put in that box? On the way in, it was squared. What's the opposite of squared? And it's not divided by 2. Okay, because squared does not mean multiplied by 2. The opposite of multiplied by 2 is divided by 2. The opposite of square is square root. Just in case you're not happy with that, I'm just going to do a little itty bit on the side over here. 3 squared is 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. Square root means, which number did you have to square to get this? 10 squared is 100, because 10 times 10 is 100. So the square root of 100 is 10. Okay, so that's just square root there. So, the opposite of squared is square root. And the square root of 36 is 6. So x is 6. We can check it by putting it in here. 6 squared is 36 plus 7. Yep, that's 43. Okay, just one more now. Let's combine. Let's have x squared divided by 4 equals, what should we have? 16. Okay, so there we've got a squared and a divide. So again, you put different things in your boxes and see what you come up with. See you in a minute. Right, the first box again is squared, which gives us x squared. And the next box is divided by 4, which gives us x squared divided by 4. Whoops, not that. You could, if you want, write it like this. They're both the same. And that is equal to 16. So running it backwards, 4 lots of 16, double it then double it, 16, 32, 64. And the opposite of square, the square root of 64 is 8. If you don't know your square numbers, it's a good idea to learn them up to 10 squared because they're very handy. So we can check that by putting 8 into here. 8 squared is 64, 64 divided by 4 is 16. Okay, hope you're happy with those. I'll come back in the next video. We're going to be doing 3-stage equations, so I'll see you then. Bye for now, Batty fans.